reflection. I'm going to be telling you where I am in my research and what I've learned so far regarding the research. As you know, my portfolio is about decision making models and processes, and I want to find out whether what Fairy says and what the models that Fairy suggested to use, whether they can be used in the real world. So far, I've looked at what managers are doing regarding decision making. I found that there's a large proportion of organizations and managers that do use decision making process models. I've also found out that organizations don't always use decision making models, and I wanted to find out why this was. So then I looked at Fairy and what Fairy says about decision making models and whether it's effective or not. And Fairy does say that it helps organizations to structure and make them think of their decision in a very logic way. But some fairies have said that it can be deceiving and it can't always be used in the real world. And then I looked at why this can't be, and I found two organizations, which are from the last page, of organizations that have implemented models. And from the research and the analytics, concluded that the decision-making process that they implemented came out with a bad outcome, which meant in bad results, which led to the tragic death of a victim, which was the railway, and the NHS, who was using the decision-making model to find out which patients should receive the medication. And I concluded that they never took into account the purpose or the nature or the culture of the organisation of what they were supposed to be providing. Therefore, the process was not effective. However, I wanted to find out, because there's a large proportion of organisations that do use process models in real life in their organisation, I want to find out which organisations have been successful in doing this. Therefore, I wanted to get first-hand experience, first-hand comments from people that I wanted to do an interview with. And one of the people that I did an interview with was Sharon Bramwell, who is a commission officer and manager in the Nottingham City Council in Nottingham. The interview that I had with her was very pleasant. It was kind of hard rearranging an interview with her. I did want to record the interview, but due to travel distances and different arrangements of time, I wasn't unable to do this. So therefore, I didn't ask her questions over the telephone, which was still effective because I could still get information that I wanted. I created 7 questions for her to answer, all regarding about information that I've found out so far in the research, talking about, is it important for managers to be able to have decides, and how does she make decisions? Does she do it every day? What kind of modules does she use? And what influences does it have on her decision making? I found out that decision making is an important task in her every day. Every day she has to make decisions, and this is based on public money for the local authority, which is about improving the needs of people. And the local authority expects her to make good decisions by using less money. So due to the recession, she has to cut down on the expenses that she uses to distribute out to people in the local communities, whether they need food or funding. She has to cut it down. And she said that the influences that she has on her decision making, it does take into account human feelings and personal drivers. This is because the organisation is not there for a profit, but it's there as an organisation to help people. So the process model does take into account costs, but it still intends to help people. And she personally, when she does decision making, she makes sure that she hears the views of the client, because whatever decision she's going to make is going to have an impact on them. So ensuring that you get their opinion is very important. She states that they do use a model, but it's been adapted to the nature of the organization, making sure it meets the needs of the organization, which is good, because if you could take the model and adapt it to your organization and implement them together, it can be effective. I also had an interview with Charlene Bramwell, and she's a support worker. So she also works with people. She works with people with disability and mental issues as well. And she describes her decision-making process, and it's very similar to the Mitberg decision-making process, which is good because I could ask her, does this model work in real situations? And she said that it does work, but she still ensures that the culture and the purpose, people's feelings, even law, is implemented in the decision-making process, which brought up another fact that you have to include the law, because the law is always changing. If you make a decision and it's not according to the law, then it's going to result in a bad decision-making process. And from the last page, you would have seen that Hughes 1979 also emphasizes that when an organization makes decisions, they have to take into account how it will affect people, what kind of time pressures would it have on people. It's not just going through the process and saying this is what we're going to do. You have to think about the scenario, what influences could happen due to society in real life being so quick and on a fast pace. So this has led me into looking at what are the implications of decision making, what does theory say about what are the implications, especially on the manager, what are the implications that they will face and how can they deal with this, what does theory say about the implications, what steps should the decision making manager take into account when they are making decisions. So that will be on my next reflection. Thank you for listening.